Hello friends, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, then welcome. Welcome all. This is a shifting video. You may or may not hear noises. I have my window open. It's not really the coldest, but it's not really the warmest either. I have the window open because I always have my window slightly open a little bit. So if you see like a little this curtain moving, then you know why. Also, this video might be kind of a long video. We have lots to talk about. I have to talk about Boo in this video. I have to talk about so many people that were not there when Frodo was going through what he was going through. Also, the person who gave him more grief because he told him what to do, and Frodo actually listened to this person because they thought it was funny, and I couldn't get upset and like go off on them the way I wanted to beat the heck out of them. Really, I just wanted to talk to them and explain to them what they did wrong. Because in the end, that's technically bullying in a way to me. But you might think, how was Frodo Yagi bullied? A grown man. A grown man that's basically an alien, right? Okay, and Toshinori is not the same anymore. Toshinori is very different. I even had to go back and say, okay. I even had to tell Toshinori, like, whoa, this is a little extreme for him because he's at a point now where with him and Frodo, he's trying to become like Frodo's best friend. Frodo Yagi, sorry. Baby Frodo is Frodo. Frodo Yagi is Big Frodo, okay? We decided to do that in my last video to kind of like differentiate the two Frodos since there's technically two Frodos in this era. But they seem to feed off of each other. And the only real solution is to put Baby Frodo with Frodo Yagi so that they can. Oh my gosh, always a disaster. Like anytime I get Frodo, Baby Frodo, I'm always taking him back to Kegel. I don't even get to spend the entire day with him because he's so reckless. Frodo just destroys everything. And I return him to his father so I don't kill him before the end of the night. So I end up giving him back to Kegel. Now, does he behave with Kegel? No, absolutely not. The only person he behaves with is Endeavor and Toshinori. Surprise! Toshinori, yes, Toshinori is his dad. He does behave with him because he knows Toshinori will get him, just like Endeavor will get him if he misbehaves. Me, it doesn't really affect him as much as it does his father, and which Kegel doesn't really discipline him. Kegel just takes things away, take away like toy time and stuff like that. But Frodo can make his toys he can make his toys come where he is and stuff. So that's not really a real punishment. The only real punishment is like a beating, like, but whatever. That's his. He chose to do that as a parent, and it's working for him. I don't see how when I literally watched Frodo. I walked in and greeted Kegel. I went over and I said hi, and Kegel pulled me into a hug and was hugging me, and Frodo was on the other side of me. So the way we were hugging, so imagine the door being open, okay? Imagine me coming in to talk to Kegel and being like, "Hey, how you doing?" And just saying how you doing and not really trying to hug him, and him pulling me into a hug. And as he pulled me into the hug, Frodo pulled the eggs out of the refrigerator onto the floor, and they got all over his like. None of the eggs got on baby Frodo. Okay, it got on like his it got on Kegel's freaking feet and everything like that. But I'm used to that. He does it so much. Frodo's always pulling the eggs out of somebody's refrigerator or pulling out, or and it's so weird. It's always set up so that that's the thing that falls. So I told Kegel, stop putting it on the top shelf. Put that on the bottom shelf and turn it. Put it underneath. That way, if this kid wants to try and make the eggs fall out, he has to reach his hand in there. And to reach his hand in there, he has to come basically off your like hip. And I said, oh, you know what? Just stop carrying him to the refrigerator altogether. Just leave him in his seat. If he cries, let him cry. But no, Keiko doesn't listen to me. Keiko's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And you can't tell me nothing. Well, now you got to clean up. Now you got to clean up your shoes because they got eggs all over it. You know what I would have did? I would have took the egg and I would have put it right on top of his head. There you go, you little brat. But whatever. Yes, that's my adorable little son mining Kegos and Toshinoris. Yes. So anyway, so Toshinori has decided to become Frodo Yagi's friend, basically. Big Frodo, because I don't know. We separated it in my last video. We got so big Frodo is Frodo Yagi, and little Frodo is just Frodo or baby Frodo. I'll just say baby Frodo to make it easy, so you guys don't get confused. I'm also gonna try not to touch my face this video because I know that when I do, I create shadows and weird little things on my face. Like I watched my other video, it looked like I had a freaking cut on my eye or something. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm just gonna try not to do that this time. Yeah, I certainly am. So it was weird. I shifted back after that whole incident with them. I couldn't do nothing but laugh it off. But then I found out Principal Nezu called me to the school, and he told me that he needed to talk to me. It was so important. It's so important, Cotton Candy. I'm like, what is it? Principal Nezu probably wants to scold me about something that happened. Maybe he saw me and Toshinori in the office. Toshinori's always pulling me into that freaking office, even though we have rooms that we can lock. For some reason, he likes the thrill of almost being caught. But I told him it's not going to be fun if one of the students see us. You know that, right? It's going to be embarrassing for both of us. And it's like he does not care. Like, and Principal Nezu knows this. So why is he calling me in to talk to me? So I have this whole attitude of walking into Principal Nezu's office. I'm just like, what? And he's like, hi, how are you? You didn't say hi to me. You just said, what? He said, that's kind of rude. And, I didn't really check myself before I came in there. I kind of just had this attitude because I'm like, I know he's going to try and, like, grill me for what Toshinori is doing to me instead of just pulling Toshinori in here because he's the real person you should be talking to about this. So he's like, sit down. I was like, do I really need to sit for you to tell me this? Because I think it's already something I know. He said, it's about Frodo, Yagi. I'm like, oh, okay. It's about Big Frodo. So I sit down. I'm like, what is it? And he's like, I just want to tell you something, okay? Please do not get upset. Please do not go on a tangent. Please do not go after the person I tell you. I'm like, what is it? And he says, for a while, he's been consulting with Fat Gum. I'm like, consulting? What do you mean? He's been asking for help from him. Principal Nezu says he's been asking for help for him. He's been asking for help for how to get to know people, what he should do if he like a girl, how he should treat people, how to be charming. I'm like, wait. He asked Fat Gum all this? And he's like, yeah, he's been telling him what to do. And I feel like he's been steering him in the wrong direction because lately he's been doing things he shouldn't be doing, things that are very unbecoming of him. I would think you're a son, right? Baby Frodo doesn't act like this. So I know Frodo Yagi wouldn't act this way either, but I feel like he has a wrong influence on him. So I'm like, okay, well, I said, is it true that Frodo was staring at Fat Gum in the locker room? And maybe he's just trying to get revenge on him for that? And Principal Nezu said, no. Fat Gum called him to the locker room. I'm like, oh, that's not what I heard. I heard that he was staring at him in the locker room. He came in there and was staring at him while he was getting ready. I'm like, well, what about midnight? So that didn't happen? Did she call him? And he's like, no, she didn't call him to the locker room in that one. He just came in there, apparently. So now my wheels are turning. I'm like, So Fat Gum's trying to be like a mentor to my kid. But my kid's basically like an alien. So, and Principal Nezu goes, plainly and simple, clearly is this Cotton Candy. Okay, listen. I'm like, what? He said, it's bullying. How is that bullying, bruh? I don't understand. How could he possibly be bullying my kid? Like, because he called him to the locker? And Principal Nezu says no. Because he has been telling him to do these things. And Frodo Yagi apparently has been listening to him do it. I'm like what? He said, for example, I don't know what happened between you and Toshinori, but I heard they got into a huge fight. Apparently Frodo was watching you guys, and you got creeped out by it or something. I'm like, okay, so how do you even know about this? And he's like, well, Toshinori tells me everything. Toshinori, why are you telling him everything? Like, why? And he's like, Fat Gum told him he should watch you guys to learn from you guys how to do things. Because he's worried. He's thinking about his body, and he wants to know, is he normal and things like that. So I guess Fat Gum told him. And I'm like, and how would you know this information, Principal Nezu? Because Fat Gum obviously wouldn't tell you hey, I'm gonna go tell this guy to do a bunch of random stuff. I just don't believe you. Like, Fat Gum cannot be this kind of guy. He can't be. And Principal Nezzy was like, well, I overheard it. I'm like, how did you overhear it? Like, you're usually the first one out of this school. I never find you after school. Your office is always empty. I'm just trying to give Fat Gum the benefit of the doubt because I freaking. First off, you guys know I hate him. You know I hate this guy with a passion. You know I will fight this guy. I will throw blows. And he's telling me this, and I'm getting angrier and angrier. And I'm just smiling at him. I'm like, I'm like, you overheard him saying all this. And he's like, Cotton Candy, calm down a little bit. I can tell you're getting a little stressed out over hearing this. But I want to tell you something. I talked to Fat Gum. I pulled him in my office and I talked to him. And I told him he should not do that. And I said, then what happened? What did he say? And he's like, I'm like, what? He said, he told me he could do whatever he wants. I got up out of my chair. I'm like, okay, I have to go. I have to go right now. And Principal Nels is like, wait, Cotton Candy, So I get to the door. Toshinori is standing there. He's like, Cotton Candy, what a surprise. And he leans up against the door and he's leaning like this toward me. And Principal Nels was there and he's like, oh. So he just straightens up and I'm like, I know you saw him there when you came in. Don't try to act like this. I know you talked to him about everything because he just told me. So I'm like, well, Toshinori, you know what? I was going to go to your house, but I think I need to talk to Frodo. He's like, okay. I'm like, I'm going to go talk to him. He said, okay. So I'm walking out and I'm walking out slowly and I'm like looking like this at Toshinori as I'm walking. And I'm just thinking, is he going to tell me where it is or is he going to just keep letting me walk in the wrong direction? Because I know Frodo is not at his house. I know for a fact he's probably in this school somewhere. He's like, what? Why do you keep looking back at me? I go, well, am I going the right way? Am I going to see Frodo? He said, oh, you just said you were going to go see Frodo, so I'll just let you. I'm like, Toshinori, where is my son? He goes, he's at my house right now. He's taking a nap. I'm like, oh, well, shoot. I mean, if he's taking a nap, I don't know if I really want to wake him. So I'm like, I guess I'll go to my office. I'll do some paperwork. Granted, I have not actually been in this school in like a week. Toshinori has been bugging me like, oh, come on. When are you going to teach another class? When are you going to teach another class here? I'm like, I don't really want to. I want to deal with, Frodo Yagi right now. I'm dealing with my son. And he's like, our son. I'm like, really? And he's like, I'm sorry for what I did. I'm like, yeah, I know. You told him over and over again. You guys are like best friends, right? He's like, I'm trying to teach him how to be a man. I'm trying to teach him how to do manly things too. I'm like, what kind of manly things? He said, for example, he likes midnight. So I just told him, in order to win her affection, her heart, just back off. I'm like, well, has it been working? And he's like, I think it has. Okay, I don't know how true that really is. I feel like if you like someone, you should pursue them. But that's me because you guys know that I'm really. Some people would call me like yandere, whatever. I'm really not yandere. Like, I would never kill Toshinori, even though I stalked him all that time. I forced him to. Yeah, I'm kind of a bad person, aren't I? Is Frodo Yagi a villain because of me? I don't think so. Not entirely. He doesn't even know about that part of me. You know what? He doesn't know. He does not know. So I'm just like, okay, well, I still want to go check on him. I just want to see how he's doing. And the last time I saw him, he was actually doing better. And I think Midnight was trying to talk to him. We're trying to find him, but he was like literally hiding from her, like hiding behind objects and things. And I'm like, well, this is childlike behavior. This is really, he's like reverted to like a kid again or something. He hasn't really acted out. He hasn't, that whole deep man, charming voice has kind of went away. Fat Gum, in a way, you ruined my son by doing that because now, how are we going to deal with this? And you think you're joking, so I just, this joke kind of went too far. I thought maybe he was joking. You know how sometimes you get bullies in school and there's a new kid and they bully that kid? And then somebody it's the energy of everyone else that keeps this going. If one person would step in and say that's not okay or that's not cool, I feel like it could stop. Have you ever been in a position where you've been a bully? Have you ever been bullied? Did you bully people because you thought it was cool or because you thought, or because you just wanted to do that then because you had that person in front of you and it was an easy target. I try to empathize with the bullies, even though I empathize with like the people, the victims. I always try and empathize with a bully too. I was also bullied, but then those bullies became my friends, and they were actually kind of a bad crowd to hang around because I picked up some bad habits like skipping gym and stuff like that. But anyway, like, and the fact that I was able to turn from like victim to friend, it kind of showed me that like the reason someone is bullied is because of the energy of everyone else around them. If that one person stepped in and said, hey, this is not cool, or this is not good, or this is not funny, or if this one person would stand up for them in front of everyone, not in the atmosphere where this person is being surrounded by everyone, but I mean the atmosphere was just a classroom atmosphere where we're all together. I feel like that really could change. All it takes is one or two people to just jump in and say, yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. And I was told that wasn't right either. Or, I know that's not right. So you guys are, scumbags for that or whatever. I mean, being called a scumbag definitely would change your whole impact on everything. Like, I don't know. I just jumped into a whole, God, guys. I'm sorry. It's 16 minutes here. I'm rambling about bullying. I mean, because of my kid. Like, I can't believe Fat Gum. So I went to confront him. So I got ready to leave out the door, but then I turned around. I'm like, Toshinori, is Fat Gum here? He goes, do not go see Fat Gum about what happened. And I said, well, I just want to talk to him. He said, well, I don't think you want to talk. I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. And then Endeavor is walking down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, that's somebody I haven't seen in like a while. I barely ever see Endeavor. So I'm like, hey. I'm like, what's up? How's it going? He's like, hey. He's like, Fat Gum wants to talk to you. I go, thank you for telling me he wants to talk to me. And I look back at Toshinori. I'm like, look, he wants to talk. And he's like, yeah. He just puts his hand on his head. He's like, oh, he's doing like this. And I'm like, so I go in there. Fat Gum is sitting at the table. And he looks up at me and then he looks away. And his head is down and his face is kind of like shining red. And so I sit across from him and I'm just like, I'm not going to like drill him because I know Endeavor probably gave him a piece of his mind. Because out of everyone here, Endeavor is probably the closest person to Frodo Yagi out of everyone. Besides his daddy is Frodo Yagi but besides Frodo Yagi's dad is Endeavor because Endeavor recognized him right away and kept calling him little lad and stuff like that, even though he's like older. Because technically you still have the little lad there. So it's like, even though he's not British, little lad. So I when I sat down, I already knew Endeavor torrented him. I even saw burn marks around the freaking table. So I was just like, he already gave him he probably already gave him a piece of his medicine or whatever. So I sat there and I'm like, Fat Gum. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey. Like, he won't even look at me. He's like, hey. I go, listen, I heard what you did. Maybe he was an easy target for you. But you really did hurt him. I just want to say that you did hurt him. I feel like you can ask for forgiveness. I said, but I will wait until he's fully recovered because you really did change him by everything you did. You really did change him. You changed how we looked at him for a minute. But I didn't stop seeing him as my son. I never stopped seeing Frodo Yagi as my son. And all he could say was, I'm sorry. He was like shaking though. And I'm like, okay. Endeavor probably tore him a new one. I just want to let you know that you hurt him and, that's not okay. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that again where it's just easy to target someone because they're an easy target, just don't do it. Please just don't do it. And so I got up and he was just like, I'm sorry. And I know he wanted to like rage and be angry because he got caught because of what he did. Because Principal Nezu is the only reason he got caught. And I forgot to freaking thank him for that. I forgot to. So Frodo coming to watch us, like watching us through the window. Me and Toshinori was doing it. Remember when Toshinori was like waist deep in me and he's pounding away at me and both of us are like naked. And Frodo happens to be looking at the window watching us. Apparently Fat Gum had told him the best way to learn is by watching. And you need to watch someone like your parents because they made you and you want to see how you were made right. So Just watch them and watch what happens. Well, that was where the watching came from. Frodo Yagi did not understand really what he was watching. So when Toshinori kind of threw him a while, Toshinori threw him around, but he didn't really know what he did wrong. He didn't know what he was doing wrong. So after talking to Frodo Yagi about this, because I literally my son, after talking to him about this, it was like, trying to understand from his perspective how he felt about the whole thing. And he was confused about everything. And I'm just like, okay, well, and I didn't want to ask the question, but I figured, I feel comfortable asking him. I don't feel uncomfortable asking him, even though it's weird. I said, do you know what was happening? And he said, you guys were basically making a baby or something again. It's like an arrow fell out of the sky and just like struck me. I was like, huh? I'm like, no, we weren't. He goes, well, then isn't that how babies are made though? I'm like, yes, Fredo, that is how babies are made. And I think, maybe I could use this as my, but I said no, because if I do that, I'm technically bullying him. I'll be bullying my own kid, and I'm not gonna do that. Because I was gonna tell him like, yeah, so you should never do that to a woman. Just don't do it so easily. Because if you do, there could be a kid born from that, That's how, and then babies are a lot of responsibility. And I was gonna tell him, think about baby Frodo. And then he probably would have been like, oh no, I definitely don't want that. Of course, no one's gonna be there'll be no like hellspawn like Frodo born again from someone, unless you guys decide to have a kid for yourself and then that kid turns out that way. But I mean, I doubt it. But I was gonna say that to him, and technically, to me, that's still bullying. I can't bully my own kid. So I said, basically, it's intimacy. Intimacy is when, and he's like, I know what that is. Is when you love somebody and you want to show love through affection, and your form of affection is the private area on your body. His is like mine because he is apparently a guy, and our bodies are like that. Because you're a woman, your body is completely different from mine. You don't have, he said, yours is outside in. Basically turn the nuts in the balls. He said, you basically turned them. I'm like, oh my God, my kid said nuts and freaking balls. Yeah. Yes. I said, yes, that's right. That's right. It's basically outside in because it's the ovaries and stuff, right? And then it goes like that. But the outside is like, it's all poking up, right? It's technically the same thing. So I know, cringy. I hope I warned you guys at the beginning of the video. And I said, yeah, I think you understand sex education. He said, but why do you guys do it though? If it's not for the purpose of making a baby. I said, when did you learn all this? When did you learn that this was what this was? And he said, well, Fat Gum told me to come watch, but he said if I stood by the window long enough, I would see something. Just wanted to punch my fist into his face. And then he's like, he told me to watch because that's how babies are made. You can learn from your parents. He said, but now I know what it was. It was affection, right? That was a form of affection he was showing you. I'm like, yeah, we showed each other. I said, we show affection in that way. He said, oh, like when you give me hugs. I'm like, yeah, when I give you a hug or a kiss. I said, yeah, or a kiss. That's right. And I said, your daddy gets special kisses from me. He gets special kisses. And he's like, I want a special kiss. I'm like, from your special person that you have feelings for and that you're in love with. He's like, but I love you. I'm like, you love me as your mother, though. You want to love someone as your equal, as your other half. You see, there's this emptiness inside, and it's filled when you find out the person that you love. And he's like, the person that I love. He's like, but I'm told that's not love. I'm like, who told you it's not love? And he's like, I'm like, who told you? And he's like, God Daddy. He said, God Daddy Endo. Like, God Daddy Endo. Endeavor? Why did he tell you that? I'm just confused. Why would Endeavor tell you? I'm like, well, he must have his reasons, right? I said, why did he tell you that? He said, we talked a lot about midnight. I said, okay, so that's good then. That means that I don't have to talk to you about midnight. That's perfect. He's probably told you everything you need to know, right? And he said, yeah. I'm like, oh, good. Perfect. I don't really know if Endeavor I can't really see Endeavor telling, but Endeavor is a full. I mean, Endeavor has like how many kids? Like four or five kids. I doubt he would hide anything from Frodo if he asked him. I mean, Frodo Yagi if he asked him, but I don't know how much he told him. Like, I don't know. He told him about the process of how it works, and he said Uncle Indo. He said no. He said that Goddaddy Indo says passion is not love or something. Passion is not love, it's lust. I'm like, okay, that's enough. That's all I know. I don't want to hear my son keep talking about the sexual stuff. I don't want to hear him keep talking about those things with me because it's comfortable until it becomes uncomfortable talking to him about it. So I just can't. So I'm just like, okay, good. I'll just leave it at that. I say, any other questions? He said, yeah, I have another question about um he's like, so how do I say it? I said, ask your daddy. Ask him. He said, okay. I said, yeah. I said, what should we have for lunch? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know either. What should we have? So we're walking down the hallway. Fat Gum comes out of the room. And so Endeavor had left. Toshinori had left. Principal Nezu wasn't in his office anymore. So me and Frodo Yagi and Fat Gum is walking. Like, we're getting ready to leave, but he's walking up the hallway. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you guys because it just trying to change it to Aver's perspective so you guys can see. We're walking out the door, and here comes Fat Gum. And Fat Gum looks over at Frodo Yagi. He's like, and then his head goes down and it turns red, and he's walking by. And as he's walking by, Frodo Yagi reaches over and runs his hands like that through his hair. And he looks up at him. And Frodo Yagi, as soon as they make eye contact, he smirks and then he keeps walking by. And I was like, so we're walking out the door, right? And I'm like, Frodo, what was that? And he's like, my charm. And he's laughing a little bit. He has a deep kind of laugh. And it's almost kind of like an evil laugh at the same time. So I'm like, okay, so I'm seeing this personality of Frodo and I'm liking it because it's like, he's a lot like me and I love him so much. And I'm just like, I can't believe I'm so happy that you're here with me. I'm so happy that you're here with me. Like, that's all I can tell him. So we're walking out into like where the field is. And Yoshinori is waiting outside of his house and he's like, Frodo, come here. And Frodo runs over to him and they're talking and I'm just watching them together. And I'm like, okay, so now I think he realized now that this really is Frodo. It's not some imposter that just came here, which is good. And I'm thinking that's great. So then I shift back here. I'm like, everything's great. Everything's good. I feel nice, and all is good. So that's all I wanted to tell you guys. And that is the end of the video. And I'm just joking. This is not the end of the video, guys. I wish I could say this was the end of the video and that's all that happened. At the end of every happy ending, there is always some shit, shiza. There's always some shiza waiting for you, okay? Let me just say that, okay? Shift it back here. Everything's all good. Everything's all fine. The scary thing. The scary, scary thing. All right. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going to go back there for a while. It'll be all right. And I didn't think about the one thing I should have thought about. I have not seen Madara in so long. And I didn't think about him. I just thought about Boo because Boo was my savior. Boo was going to save me, right? Boo was going to save all of us from Frodo Yagi and his madness because apparently he had gone nuts. And I didn't think he could come back from that. I really didn't. I thought it was over. I thought, well, Toshinori disowned him as his son. And this is like some kind of drama or something, like some kind of foreign drama from somewhere, alien drama. I get pulled into this place, and it is basically like a huge mall. It's very changed. It's very different from a regular mall because for some reason the escalators are extremely high off the ground. It's almost like you're climbing a tower to get to the next floor. And on my way down, I decide I have to start running. And there was a stranger running ahead of me too, and reaching this area where there's literally nothing except for a freaking jungle gym we have to climb up. We climbed the jungle gym to get away from the horror and the danger behind us, which there is, and that is the future of mankind. We running away from something. We don't know what yet. And of course, there is the Wonder Not who wanders not. And I nearly ran into him again. Luckily, I didn't. I was able to get out of there in time. But I have been to this place so many times, and I just want to ask you guys: has there been anyone else who has gone to this place before? Has anyone else gone there? Um, a mall, okay, the mall with the tall escalator. Even the stairs, it's so high. You climb the stairs, and it takes you to these unbelievable places. There's stores, but it's weird. You might find like a pool up there, an actual swimming pool, a place where there's cars, um, like in the building and stuff like that, and a freaking jungle gym. I've been there so many times, and I don't know what the purpose of this place is. Why I keep getting, I don't even know who's pulling me to this place. I just keep getting pulled there over and over again. Sorry. No wardrobe malfunctions today, guys. That's not gonna happen. After leaving that ridiculously crazy place that was even on, right? I came back here feeling like even more frightened than I did. Because stuff, I'm starting to notice things, and there's these dizzy spells you get, and when you come out of them, it's like you see part of this world there. You see part of this world. You see part of that world here. If you look and you see that world of that part of that world here. And then, and then I keep telling everyone, like, I didn't tell anybody, but I said, like, there was like a monster or something. I heard the freaking monster. And I tried to tell them, and they didn't listen to me. They tried to tell me, like, there's no monster. What are you talking about? Oh, you're so crazy. There's no monster. Like, you saying there's no monster. Have you guys watched movies where people tell you, like, if there's a movie that you've seen where there was someone in that movie, right? And, like, say something happens to them or something, they see something weird. They don't tell anybody. They just go through it. And it's like they could have told them about that they saw that or whatever. And it could have prevented whatever it was from happening, or at least changed the course of that, because they decided to keep silent and not speak a word of it. And I speak the words of it, and here I am looking like a psycho. And I am not a psycho. Maybe not completely a psycho. Maybe not completely crazy, but like, I would never, ever, ever go to like therapy, or I would never talk to anyone or anything. I would never see like a psychiatric. What did they call it? I would never see a one of those people, one of those talk to people, counselors, because I can't even say the name of them. Can you believe me, guys? I can't even say the name. I wouldn't talk to them because they would be like, she's insane, and she probably needs mental help or something, which I don't, because I'm not crazy, and I see these things and I don't know what to do because there's nobody else who's experiencing this. Apparently, I'm the only one. this maybe that means that I'm crazy, right? Because I'm the only one experiencing this. Like, you just shift somewhere. I'm sorry. I hate the way my computer is positioned, guys. I absolutely hate it. You can't even see Toshinori. Does that look better? Maybe I'm not sitting up tall. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Just don't slouch, Cotton Candy. Just don't slouch and you'll be fine. Okay. Definitely not. Oh, this is just enough to drive me nuts, guys. This is what drives me insane. Okay? This is what drives me crazy. I'm deciding, oh, I'm so tired, I want to go to bed, and what happens? I get pulled. So I decide, you know what? I'm not going to try to go anywhere. I just let everything kind of spin around, and next thing you know, I hear her like, open your eyes, open your eyes, open your eyes. And I'm like, I don't want to open my eyes, I want to keep my eyes closed. And then they called my name, right? So Madara called my freaking name, right? He calls my name, but he does not call me Cotton Candy now. He calls me by my real name. And I'm like, you freaking call my real name. I'm like, why did you do that? Why are you calling me by my name? Do not call me by my real name. Why not? That's your name. So what if I know your name? I know your name. I'm like, what else do you know? He said, I know everything. I know your sister lives. I know where that dang dog is. Dang wretched thing. And I'm like, oh. And when I talked to her again, she was like, I haven't seen Kakashi in a while. Dude, that's not Kakashi. That's freaking Madara spying on you, but you just don't know it. And he did meet the actual dog because he actually bent down to pet him and all that. It's a whole thing, guys. She kept saying Kakashi, but that was not freaking Kakashi. My sister doesn't know jack shit about anime. She just knows some characters from Naruto, and that's it. Okay, so and she's a lot older than me. She's not the type of person I would tell this to, any of this stuff to, because she'd be like, "What's wrong with you? You're crazy." Um, but nobody will ever believe me. Nobody. So anyway, Madara's like, "You haven't been to see me. What's going on?" And I'm like, usually you go to My Hero Academia. He said, you said you were going to stop going there. You said you weren't going to go there for a while, remember? So I waited for you here. I'm like, you made a house there. What do you mean? Like, you made a whole house in My Hero. He's like, we got to make it for lost time. Let's go. I'm like, where are we going? To my house. I'm like, okay, Madara, I don't really want to go to your house. He said, you're going to my house. You're going. So I'm like, okay, fine. He takes my hand and he's pulling me. And I don't know if you guys know the feeling of someone. Okay. So there was this maze, okay? I had no idea how to get through the maze. I didn't know where we were going. Have you ever been pulled by someone? Like, you know that there's corners and turns here, but you don't know exactly where you guys are going. You just know he's taking you somewhere. You know that feeling of being pulled by someone? It is such a feeling. Like, I felt it. Like, being pulled by someone bigger, stronger than you, they're confident. They just know where they're going. And you feel yourself being pulled. But you guys, if you guys ever experience this feeling, it's an amazing feeling, but at the same time, it's scary because you're like, whoa. Because you don't have control. It's like you lost control over your own body. It's like your body is being controlled by this person, by what they're doing. So we get to his room. He starts taking off his watch. I don't know why he's wearing all black, guys. He's wearing all black. He's wearing this button up shirt. He's got like some slacks on. He has shoes. He takes his shoes off and he starts taking off his watch. Then he undoes his collar. And he's like, so I back away a little bit and Madara, I can't really. I say right now, and I'm feeling like I don't know how to tell him how I'm feeling because like I'm still kind of shaken over the whole being transported to this outworldly world, this other dimension, this other place. There's another realm out there. Okay, I saw it. I've been there so many times. So he's like, what? And he's still getting undressed, and I'm like, oh. He's like, oh, what? You missed me? Is that what you want to say? And I'm like, no. It's like my words won't come out. Like I stuck it in my freaking throat. And I'm like, he's like, you won't. He's like, you what? I'm like, I wanted to say I want Toshinori, but if I tell that man I want Toshinori, he's gonna inflict so much punishment on me in this bed. It's not even funny. And I'm just like, now I'm just looking for a way out. Like I'm always looking for a way out when I get trapped. If I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm uncomfortable or I don't like it. So then I just said, you know what? Because I know he's not going to stop advancing toward me. I just go, can we go somewhere else? And he's like, we're in the most private place we could possibly be. And he's in his boxers and he walks over to me. And I'm still fully like clothed and everything. Like I decided to wear a dress. Don't ask me why I decided to wear a dang dress. I figured I've been God touched, right? I've been God touched before. God touch meaning something wonderful, something only by God, something only God could show me, guys. And I wanted that again, that pure innocence. I wore a white freaking dress. I didn't know I would wear the white dress to get pounded in. I thought for sure it would be just for something innocent and nice and, you know, something sacred. But I'm like, man, he's like, you wore that just for me, didn't you? I'm like, no. He's like, no underwear. He's like, you have no underwear on, no panties on. Is that what it is? You don't have any on? And he's smiling at me, and I'm like, I'm just sitting on the bed. I got my hands like next to me, and I'm like, no. And he's like, why are you so stiff? And he tries to reach under my dress, and he's like, oh, you do have no panties. I was trying to go through a sacred event and you freaking ruined it, bruh. I wanted to see he's ruining this for me. So I'm just like and I like kind of groaned a little like And he's like, "What are you groaning for? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing." And he's like, "Okay, I won't touch you." And he sat next to me and I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Yes." Because I just want to hold your hand. And he holds my hand. I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet." He just wants to hold my hand. That's great. But it just feels too good to be true. And I lean my head on his shoulder. And then when I lean my head on his shoulder, he like does this and he turns me around so he's on top of me. And then he's like, I get the feeling that you weren't expecting me. You were expecting someone else. And I said, that's not it. He said, who are you expecting, huh? Tell me, Kind Canada, who are you expecting? And I was just like, I said, bruh, if I tell you who I'm expecting, dude, you're gonna, like, I was dressed like this for you. He's like, you're wearing panties. You're freaking lying to me. He's like, I know you're lying, Kind Canada. You're gonna tell me, or am I gonna have to get pounded out of you? And I was like, you're gonna have to pound it out of me. He's like, really? You would accept your punishment? Why is this always about accepting punishment? I'd rather know who you were waiting for, huh? Oh, I know, I'll tease. He's like, rawr. I'm like, stop it. He's like growling and stuff in my ear, like, rawr. He's being playful, but I don't feel like playful. I just don't feel right in this moment. And he was like, so you're not gonna tell me who you were waiting for? I'm like, God. He's like, God, what? Oh, God, or what? I'm like, no, God. He's like, what? He was waiting for God? I'm like, yeah. He said, why? And he sat up and he looked at me all estranged. And I'm like, I think it's time for me to go. He said, no, you're going to tell me why you were waiting. But you are fully clothed like it. You do look like a saint. I'm like, thank you, you jerk. Thank you so much for telling me I look like a saint. Thank you. And I started crying and he's just like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And it's because I didn't get to feel that. It's because I didn't get that experience again. Like I feel like I am closer, but at the same time, it's like I feel so far away. Like I feel so lonely, and I can't. There's no way I can't explain this to any of the people there because you guys are in this other realm. This realm is real, and it's real. And this other realm that I went to, this other one, is very different and it's very dark. And then I went to this realm that was just beautiful, and it was so godly, and it was just something only God could show you. And I just don't understand. And then God also showed me that He wasn't who everybody thinks He is either. Like at the same time, and I don't want to reveal or share any of that with you. Not on YouTube. Sorry, I will not reveal anything here. I won't. And so moderate advanced. Yeah, he removed. He said, "You see your clothes, your saint-like clothes. Guess what? He ripped my dress, ripped it in half, ripped all of my clothes off, basically, and and then he pulled me under him, and he had my leg in the air, and the bottom of his leg was by mine, and then he penetrated me deeply, and he was, oh yeah, oh that feels so good, kind of Canada, I'm gonna feel you, like, and I'm just like, I can't think of anything, I can't, like, I mean, of course, I can't be quiet either because it's impossible. Because he's like, come on. He's like, I want to hear your voice. Are you gonna let me hear your voice? And I'm like, no. And he's like, what's that? And he goes a little deeper, a little rougher. And I'm like, no. I was like, no. So it turned into no, 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 no. And I'm just like, he's like, no, what? And I'm crying. And he's just like, okay, you know what? I feel like I'm assaulting you in a really bad way. It wasn't even about that. It was just the emotion that I felt too at that time. I just was not happy. And he's like, yeah. He's like, but I can't. He's like, I feel like I'm assaulting you, but I don't want to stop. But, He goes, yeah, I'm going to stop now. He stops and he's like, ugh. So he stops, like, he's like, from penetrating me. And instead, his mouth goes onto my nipple. He starts sucking, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you're such a freaking pervert, bruh. You can't just let me be. Like, you stopped, but then you might as well kept going if you're gonna do that. I mean, why would you stop if you? Because I was saying no because I imitated something. So this is so bad, guys. I'm so sorry. This is a terrible freaking video. And then he waited, and I was just like, yes, I'm getting ready to go back, and I'm thinking, yes, I'm gonna shift back here. And he started penetrating me again. And this time he was just silent. He didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. He just smashed me until it was over. And then he was like, I love you, Canada. Thank you for coming back to me. Thank you for waiting for me in your white dress, you saint. And he said saint, and he like hissed. And I'm just like, I know he's pissed off, but I don't care. Like, I didn't tell you to pull me. I didn't come to you because you live in freaking My Hero. Hello. Like, you got a house there. So why would you be in some other realm somewhere? Is this another version of you that I don't know? And I hope not. I hope I'm not just going around like, gosh, that makes me like some kind of hoe then, right? Because technically, ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Already a hoe to three. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho. Ho. Oh, I got on the I got on the freaking bear hat, so I can't howl. And he said, come back and see me tonight, or I'm gonna pull you again. I'm just like, okay. I can't. No. Oh. Toshinori can't save me. I don't know what to do. Toshinori save me. Help. Help me, I'm poor. Help me, I'm poor. Okay. I can't help you because you're poor. I can't help you because you're poor. No, oh. So mad, like, yeah. Shoot. Yeah. Trying to hide trying to hide my burning cheeks from you guys, okay? I'm blushing a little bit. Try not to look too hard. Don't look too hard. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, so it's not like you guys really want to see my face anyway. I'm pretty chocolate up looking as it is. Oh, okay, no. Okay, good. I'm not really blushing. Cool, cool. I hate when I start blushing. I can never hide anything as a kid. I still can't. It's pretty accurate what they say. Like, because I'm a family of five. Like, I'm the last born. So, anybody else in my family who gets sick, they're like, oh, that person can take care of themselves. The oldest, they don't, oh, you better go to school. But for me, if I try to even hide a cough, it's like they instantly know. And they're like, oh my God, I have to take care of them. And it's like, no, you don't have to take care of me. I can take care of myself. Like, I want to go to school. I don't want to stay home and have to drink orange juice and apple juice and have you take care of me because I'm sick, because I'm the youngest. I don't want to be the one that has to be taken care of. Take care of the oldest. Take care of the child that wants to be taken care of. Not me, somebody who wants to be independent. Sorry. I'm just taking all my trouble out on you guys. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so yeah, that was the thing I dealt with last with Madara. I'm still scared because I don't really know if that was actually him or if it was someone else. I have no idea who that was. It didn't feel like him. Um, I told you guys they all in bed. They're all different how they are. He was very. He was like Toshinori kind of. He gave me like a lot of space, which I appreciate that space during that. Even though it's an intimate time, there is just such a thing like me and Toshinori do it right, and he's like behind me, and he's like you like that and stuff, and so picture me on top of him, right? Imagine a reverse cowgirl girl position, right? But then he's standing up and he has like one of my legs in the air, so my other leg is down, and he's like thrusting, right? and he's going deep in me, and then he looks at, so I'm trying to look at him, but I can't see him too great, and his face is like on my shoulder, and he's like, "Do you like that? Does that feel good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Then we both start laughing. It's something about being able to laugh during that time and enjoy each other during that time. Whereas to, I never explained to you what the other guys are like too, but I do like my space. Was that a text from someone? Oh, okay. I just had a delivery. I just got a part of your order has been delivered. Your order has been delivered. What has been delivered? Well, duh, that's been delivered. Duh, that was delivered. Was there something else? Whatever. I'm gonna wait until. I'm sorry, guys. I got distracted. I'm just like, okay. Yes. Yes. No. 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 So you guys know. No. 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 What I've been talking about this whole time. A lot of intimate stuff. A lot of cringy stuff. So sorry if you don't like those kind of videos where I'm like intimate with my partner sexually. Then yeah, I'm sorry to tell you this video is not for you. I probably should have told you that at the beginning. Yeah. Does it make me a ho ho ho? Probably a ho ho. I love ho hos, by the way. Do you like ho hos? Yeah. So I guess I should check to see if I got something else delivered. I guess downstairs before a porch thief come and take it. Even though they don't really exist around these parts of the world. Yeah. Something to hide, right? I got something to hide. I got something to hide. I got a secret that I want to tell, but I can't tell here because I can't tell anybody here. Because I don't trust here. I don't trust YouTube at all. At all. Tushner, you want to say bye? Bye. Oh, last I heard, good news. Last I heard, um, Frodo Yagi is starting to date Midnight. They're actually seeing each other now, apparently. I don't know how far they are in seeing each other. I think the beginning stages where they're just like getting to know each other. But I heard this quote unquote from Toshinori. Um, hashtag can't stop thinking about him. Hashtag can't stop thinking about him. Can't stop thinking about my son. Ah, I'm so excited for Frodo. I can't wait to see what it sparks. That's pretty weird in what he did to Fat Gum. I feel like he likes him too. So I kind of want to see what happens between him. I know my son likes both of them. So yeah, so my son likes guys and girls. This will be exciting. I can't wait to see what happens. I just hope Fat Gum doesn't become one of his victims somehow. Because I feel like he used him, but now the innocence part isn't there anymore. He feels like he could probably do whatever he wants since Fat Gum had him tricked or whatever, or since he basically bullied him. So now it's like he played with fire and now he's gonna get burned or like something like that. Toshinori, don't take this off. He's trying to remove his freaking sleeve. Look at it. Look at this tiny sleeve on him. He's trying to remove it. Do not remove that, okay? Okay. Cool. Yes, cool. Okay. Come on, put your arm in there, damn it. I guess I'll just check outside to see if there's anything out there. Then I'll just come in and close the door. I just wanted to let you guys know what happened. I did. Tell you guys about what happened when I was there. My weird dilemma with Madara. And it was just there's no way to get out of that situation. There was nowhere to go. He like blocked me, so I couldn't just shift back here or anything like I wanted. So I don't know what to do to prepare. I mean, I have my special words. I even write them down. I'm very good at remembering what I'm supposed to say. I have pillow face. I have so many things put in place to help me. And none of it worked any of those times when I got pulled to that other place either. That dangerous place. But have you guys ever been to that place before? Yeah, so that's all I have to tell you guys. I'm sorry, I'm still lost with this. I don't know. I need to tell you guys what happened. But I also want to hear your opinion about there. Have you been there before? What is this place? What do you think this place is? Because it definitely has a profound meaning. It definitely means something to me. I know that for sure. So anyway, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give this video a like. If you hated it, you know what to do. And also don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to more videos like this. I'm going to be starting I'm gonna be starting to sell things from my site, miragecarnival.org. If you guys are interested in buying from there, you can. If you're gonna order me from me like across seas, please do not order anything um, that's gonna perish within the time frame I'm gonna send it to you. I can try and ice it, but I don't know how that's gonna work. It might work though. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.